Valentine's Day is one of the strangest days of the year because it's not really about love, but about who has love. And if you've ever looked around and wondered to yourself, why does it feel like everyone has found love and found their person except me? This video is for you. Because it's not because you're broken, it's not because you're unlovable, but because there's something deeper that's going on that no one ever really explains. And once you get it, everything changes. If you're new here, I'm Sarah, and I create this channel to give you everyday practical ways to build a better life for yourself, to bring more love and peace and joy and happiness, and to understand yourself and the world around you. And I do this through self-mastery and spirituality. So we grow up being told a lie, and this can be through societal conditioning or movies like Disney, music, TV, all that kind of stuff, that love just happens, that you will meet someone and it'll magically just work and be great. And the underlying thing there is that it feels like if it hasn't happened for you yet, that there's something wrong with you. And trust me, I understand. I will put a video at the end of this one that will show you where I was at just a few years ago. The reason that you have not found your person yet is not because you're not good enough. It's because you've been living in patterns that you didn't choose. See, we don't attract people based on what we want, but we attract them based on what feels familiar. And what I've learned is that for, I would say, the majority of us, what feels familiar is not love. It's plain and simple, it's survival, it's trauma, it's deception, and it's toxic. And the people that often struggle the most with finding that love are the most empathetic and the most intuitive, the most giving, the most emotionally aware. So why is that? Well, it's because very early on in life, they learned to adapt and to put others first, to always be giving, to be people pleasing, to read others' energy and move around it. So when love comes around and it shows up as calm and stable, it doesn't feel exciting, it doesn't feel familiar to all of the chaos you most likely experienced in the past. And so what happens with your nervous system, if you want to learn more about your actual nervous system and how all that works, I'll put this video here. But what happens is your nervous system gets kind of like confused because it's unfamiliar. And so because it's unfamiliar, it deems it unsafe. So what happens is you'll end up attracting someone who is emotionally unavailable or unsure, or chaos that you deem feels like chemistry, or these very big like push and pull dynamics. And it's not because you want pain, okay? None of us want that. It's because your body and your nervous system believes that's what love is. So here's my hard truth for you today. You don't keep meeting the wrong people. You're actually meeting the right people that align with your unhealed patterns. So for example, say you grew up and you had to earn love. That will turn into an adulthood when you're in relationships, making you attracting people in that make you chase that love. If you grew up, say, feeling unseen or maybe like misunderstood, you'll attract people who keep you guessing, where you don't know where you stand, or you're unsure of how they feel or where you fit or whatever it may be. If you grew up walking on eggshells, right? I think that's pretty familiar for a lot of people. You will attract emotionally unpredictable partners. And so that is what we call a trauma bond. And if you want to learn more about trauma bonds specifically, I will post this video here. And the thing is with this feeling is a lot of times it can feel all-consuming, right? it feels intense and magnetic, and it's like all you can think about and all you're focused on and all your energy goes into it. But that's not love. It's that God, I always have trouble saying that word. Familiarity. It's kind of like dressed up as love, if that makes sense. By the way, you can't really see, I'm wearing like my little Valentine's Day top. It's like a heart, so cute. Anyway, I just had to show that off because I think it's so cute. And if you guys didn't know, Valentine's Day is my favorite holiday, even when I was single. So I want to know if you've experienced this pattern, and if you have, put "I released this pattern" in the comments below, where you meet someone, it feels promising, you connect deeply and you get close and you spend all the time together or whatever, and then they pull away, and then they don't show up, and then you start guessing, and then it doesn't feel as connected, or they won't commit to you, and then you're left thinking, why does this always happen to me? And that's because subconsciously you're choosing people that are at your emotional level, right? And that's why a lot of times, like, if you look at your like past relationships, you'll be like, what the hell was I thinking? It's because your emotional level has increased since that time, but at that time it was around the same area as that person. Like, I look back at some of my relationships from like years ago and I'm like, what was I doing? Like, it just doesn't even make any like logical sense to me anymore. You know what I mean? So that's all that is. And I don't mean the sense that like if you were in like a toxic or abusive relationship that you were also toxic and abusive. It could even be like you being afraid to be fully seen or chosen, or you were afraid to be vulnerable, or you know, anything along those lines. So you attract these situations where you don't have to go all the way in. So these almost relationships can, you know, protect you in a sense from a true heartbreak, even though you can definitely experience the heartbreaks with those almost relationships, but they also protect you or shield you from true love. So the reason that you haven't found your person yet is because you are becoming the version of yourself who can hold on to that love, who is willing to be seen or learn to be seen and learn to be vulnerable and learn all of these things that you weren't able to experience or explore in past relationships. So it's not because you're behind, it's because you are evolving. Because that deep, true love that you want involves all of those things. It involves vulnerability. It involves being seen. It involves emotional regulation and self-worth. It involves your nervous system feeling safety. It involves boundaries. Like it has all of those things. So if you don't have those things yet, you're not going to have the relationship that you're longing for. The universe is not holding love from you and keeping it away from you and saying you don't deserve it. It is preparing you and allowing you the time to get to that level where you can meet your match. And the thing is being single on Valentine's Day can feel like, and I have felt this in the past, I think even last year I had, you know, a rough time, even though it's my favorite holiday. It can feel like kind of a spotlight on maybe the one thing or one of the big things that you don't have. Like, I remember last year on Valentine's Day, I went to Philly Pretzel, and they had these little like heart-shaped pretzels, which I thought was so cute, and I love, you know, soft pretzels, so I got some. And for some reason, that was the trigger for me, where I bought them, I was all fine. I got in the car to go home, and by the time I got home, I was just sobbing, just asking all of these questions, not understanding why or what I was doing wrong, or, you know, why I couldn't find that person who I have since found. And that time alone can give you clarity into yourself and what your needs are. Being alone is giving you an opportunity to grow and evolve and make sure that once you find your actual person, you're not going to accept breadcrumbs. You're not going to allow toxicity. You're going to set boundaries. You're going to have standards and self-connection and self-love. And that's when you get to choose from wholeness instead of emptiness or loneliness. And trust me, like, I get it. I so get it. And that's why I'm making this video, is because, you know, real love is not anxiety, and it's not guessing, and it's not wondering how that person feels about you, and it's not chasing, and it's not playing games of who can care less. It's not talking down to being talked down to. It's not this insane intensity. Real love is not going to make you feel shitty. It's not going to make you feel small. It's going to feel calm and safe and open and grounded and understood, and make you feel like, wow, this person actually appreciates every part of me. I literally just hung up the phone with my boyfriend after having this type of conversation with him before making this video. And I was just bursting with feeling seen and appreciated and loved and just valued and cherished. I never felt any of those things before. So let's get into the practical side of things of how to actually shift your patterns. I'll give you a few steps, okay? Number 1, stop chasing what feels familiar. Number 2, start choosing what feels safe and calm. Number 3, heal your attachment wounds. Number 4, learn to self-soothe. Number 5, learn how to say no and how to set and stick to your boundaries. And number 6, I think this is the most important one, and that is building a life that you love without a partner. Because that was the point that I was at when I met my boyfriend. And we've been together for almost a year now, but we were friends for, you know, like a year and a half, 2 years first, you know, but I was at the point where I genuinely loved my life for the most part. Everyone has shit going on, right? And that's when that person came in, especially because we were friends for so long, and then it, you know, changed like what seemed like overnight, even though looking back, it was always there. I think the biggest thing from building from that, number 6, is when you do that, love isn't, you're not looking for love to save you, because you don't need saving, because you already have a life that you love. It gets to meet you and add to your life instead of trying to replace things that are unaligned or missing, or, you know, filling some type of gap. So if you're watching this alone today, you are not behind, you are not forgotten, you are not unlovable or unworthy. You are becoming someone who will not settle for half love. And that takes time, but I promise it's so worth it. Your person isn't missing. They're just waiting for you to evolve and become that version of you that will be in the relationship that you desire and crave and want. You got this. I love you. I hope you still have a wonderful Valentine's Day. And if you have any questions about anything that we chatted about today, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and like so we can hang out again next week. I love you guys so much. And don't forget, be limitlessly yourself.